This week we're in Islamabad, where we've come to look at underground bands, and that's one of the reasons I'm having this ice cream, which is not commercial, homemade but commercially available. So, as you can see, people of Islamabad are very sophisticated. They all are staring at me, but don't want to look at me to prove that they're not impressed by celebrity. The life of a celebrity is actually quite difficult. You know how it is. They always chase you everything, and right now, the fact that they're not chasing me is disturbing me even more because I know they're thinking about me. So I just hope all these people can mind their own business, and from now on, we continue with our show. And me, just trying to be that simple person that I am, and continue with my love of music. Islamabad is also one of the more public service oriented cities. It's where people, they want to help out. That's why the streets are so clean. And I mean, sometimes they take it to real extremes. Let me show you one of them. Some enterprising person has given, his selection. What flavors are actually not good? So if you want vanilla dates, no. If you want apricot, no. If you want coffee omelette, no. Thank God he said no to that one. But my point here remains the same. We need more cities like Islamabad, where people are so dedicated to public service that they'll even put their recommendations on a public billboard, defacing it with a marker, just to make sure we don't buy the wrong flavors. Music is not always about art. It's about showmanship too. Concert halls can become theatrical arenas. That's what Kiss and Alice Cooper did in the 70s and 80s. The 1990s was all about one shock rocker, Marilyn Manson. Taboo subjects, self-mutilation, and psychotic imagery rolled into a hard-rocking package. So, what do Marilyn Manson and Ustad Fateh Ali Khan have in common? Nothing really, actually. But if we stretch the association, we get ABBAS Ali Khan. Okay, we're here with ABBAS Ali Khan, and we're here to interview him. And we're in Islamabad in his workplace. Just one thing before we do, I just remembered. One of the perks of this job that I have found so far is I go to all the fashionable places, meet all the fashionable people, and for the first time in my life, I'm also meeting somebody politically important. ABBAS Ali Khan is the grandson of Liaquat Ali Khan. So, could you explain that also in your whole thing? How
actually, I'm the great grandson of Liaquat Ali Khan.
If you found the great grandson of Nehru, could you make a band called Continental Cousins?
let's
Jinnah and Liaquat Ali Khan. Imagine that.
Okay, I'll start. It's all going on here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm basically into fusion music, and I'm learning classical music from Ustad Fateh Ali Khan. And I'm a keyboard player. I was originally a keyboard player, and then I realized I could sing.
Okay, and what do you seek to have come out of your music? The Eastern influence. Is there anyone around these days who you think in pop music have combined, good fusion?
Yeah, I think Mikallison is one of my favorite bands, Mikallison band. I also like fusion. They're doing pretty much the same stuff, but it's more towards rock. They're like fusing rock with classical music. But I'm experimenting with different sort of music. Like I'm gonna mix the stuff with hip hop, disco maybe.
Okay, and you've had one album come out before. Tell us about that album.
Okay, this album came out. First, it came out with the name Humsafar. It was released by. Can I take names?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. It was released by BMN Records, and unfortunately, none of my videos were out at that time, so nobody knew about that album, and the promotion was not really good. They didn't promote me well.
लाले अब्बास अली खान की सीडी कैसेटें लेने का क्या?
And then again, somebody from BMN Records released it again by the name of Tum Aa Jao. And again, the promotion was bad.
लाले अब्बास अली खान की सेकंड एल्बम लेने का क्या?
One of my videos came out by the time, Jaane Kya Hai. but it was a slow, mellow number, so it wasn't a boosting thing for me and for the album. And there weren't any promos and stuff, so like it got lost in the ocean of mainstream, whatever you call it.
And you also work with Mystic Media.
Yeah, I work in Mystic Media as a partner and as head of design. I'm into animation, graphic design, that's what I do. By the way, both of my videos, Jaane Kya Hai and Chori Chori, were produced by Mystic Media, and was directed by Shahriyar, who's also my partner at Mystic.
Okay.
And it was an in-house thing,
Yeah.
and we did all the visual effects and stuff.
Well, I talked to Shahriyar about 2-3 weeks ago, and I had a criticism which I didn't know you were a managing partner at that time. How come you have no Pakhtuns employed here? See, look, everyone laughs at us. They don't take us seriously when we ask these things. Why?
Well, I mean, there's nothing in particular. There's no
Why?
in particular, but maybe no Pakhtun came to us. Come on, cut it out.
Okay, anyhow, so more about your music. Do you write the lyrics yourself?
Yeah, I did the lyrics for my whole album, the first album, and I mostly do my lyrics myself. I compose the music myself. I play keyboards, some of the guitars. Obviously, I sing myself.
Okay.
So pretty much I do everything.
And what comes first, the music or the words?
The music initially, and the
Okay.
words are inspired by the music.
What kind of fan following do you have? Because I've seen your website, it's quite nice. I mean, you must get a lot of feedback from that.
Well, the fan following is not that large. I get feedback. I have a guest book. People come there and they give their comments and stuff. All my songs are on my website, by the way.
Okay.
And they download them. So it's pretty good. I mean, for a start, considering the style of music that I'm into, I'm not into like bhangra or the typical mainstream music, the typical pop music.
Other question is that, I mean, one of the things I find really interesting is that you're learning classical music, and classical was always the mainstream. And now to learn classical means you are going against the mainstream. Yet there is still a very potent market out there for classical music. So is this idea that classical is not the mainstream, is basically for a certain segment of the market, which is essentially people of your peers, a certain kind of education, a certain kind of outlook in life. I mean, how would you look at it in that way?
Unfortunately, the listenership of classical music is dying now. We can all see that. But I think it's coming back in the form of fusion music. First of all, my family, like they were always good listeners of classical music, and jab se main bachpan se I was like listening to the it's pure basically. It has roots basically, and जिसकी भी roots होंगी वो music कभी मर नहीं सकते. I'll only say that. But वो जिस तरह का मेरा style है, I like that style. That's why I'm learning classical music. But one should like learn whatever is he doing.
And as a child, you were in this program called Behta Darya with Adnan Sami Khan. Yeah. So
Saw that too.
yes, I see everything. I do my research meticulously.
Hey, have you read something?
No, not enough.
Quickly read something.
Wait. I've learned Dave Navarro. I'll say Stevie Ray Vaughan and Dave Matthews. Van Halen. I'll pretend I know some of this.
How many pages have you read?
I just saw the cover.
You should have
They
done this
won't know.
before. You should have done this before.
They won't know. Believe me, I swear, I'll make it look like I know everything.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Just
Let's
give me
go.
5
Let's
minutes.
go. They're ready.
Give me a few minutes.
They're ready.
Well, Behta Darya was a program that came on the national television a long time back. I was like 7, 8 that time, and was done by Adnan Sami Khan. He was here in Pakistan at that time, and I was amongst the choir, the children. So Adnan bhai found out that I'm into keyboard playing, and in some of the episodes he asked me to play keyboards with him. That's a big honor for me.